This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Day 19 of the UAW strike, and maybe we're starting to see some progress. After GM CEO Mary Barra slammed UAW President Shawn Fain for his tactics and theatrics, the union finally presented GM with a counteroffer yesterday. GM's last offer was on September 21st, so it took the union 12 days to respond. GM says it's evaluating the counteroffer, but that big gaps remain, so it's likely to reject it, but at least the union responded. And with news that the UAW also held a new round of bargaining with Stellantis, we're taking this as a step forward. Meanwhile, GM is laying off about 160 workers from non-striking plants in Indiana and Ohio, which have been impacted by the strikes at the other production sites and parts distribution centers. And a quick correction. Yesterday I said the UAW was striking GM's Lansing Grand River facility, but it's actually GM's Lansing Delta Township plant. Ford is also laying off another 330 employees at non-striking facilities in Ohio and Illinois. There have been roughly 3,500 workers laid off at non-striking facilities between GM, Ford, and Stellantis. The total number of workers on strike is now 25,300. We calculate the strikers and people on layoff are costing the union $14.5 million a week in strike pay, and the Anderson Economic Group estimates that the first 2 weeks of the strike resulted in total losses of nearly $4 billion to the automakers, their suppliers, and their dealers. The struggles at Volkswagen's software division CARIAD have been well documented, but it's about to get some help. The VW Group announced that it hired Sanjay Lal, who has over 25 years of experience in the automotive software field and previously held jobs at Rivian, Tesla, and Google. Lal will head up the new Software-Defined Vehicle Hub, a new division within CARIAD, and will work with teams from both Volkswagen and Audi. We think this is a good move for VW. Up until now, the executives running the software division were longtime industry veterans. And if you're going to start a new software company, it ought to be run by software experts from the tech industry. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is significantly expanding its investigation into Ford engine failures. It's looking into nearly 709,000 vehicles equipped with 2.7 or 3-liter V6 turbocharged engines, and it's one step closer to issuing a recall. The affected models include the Ford Bronco, Edge, Explorer, and F-150, as well as the Lincoln Nautilus and Aviator, all from the 2021 and 2022 model years. NHTSA blames the engine failures on faulty intake valves. Ford says it's received 861 complaints, warranty claims, and engine replacements related to the issue. It also says that the failures occur early in a vehicle's life and that nearly all the failures have already happened. Ford has made a design change to the valve to fix the issue.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Tesla's Q3 vehicle deliveries missed estimates. It delivered a little more than 435,000 vehicles in the third quarter, which was lower than some of the lowest estimates. But this was a bit expected. Tesla previously warned that its planned downtime for factory upgrades would hurt deliveries, and investors largely shrugged off the news. Meanwhile, EV startup Rivian did beat sales estimates. It's a bit of the opposite of Tesla right now. Rivian was able to boost production in the third quarter and delivered more than 15,500 vehicles, which is nearly 3,000 more units, or a 23% increase from Q2. It also puts Rivian on track to meet its full-year production target of 52,000 EVs. The startup said it started seeing supply chain relief in June and is ramping up production of LFP batteries, as well as a new in-house developed electric motor called Enduro. Chinese automaker BYD has pretty much caught up to Tesla in terms of pure electric passenger vehicle sales. In the third quarter of this year, BYD sold 431,603 BEVs, while, as we mentioned earlier, Tesla just edged it out with 435,059 sales. That's a 26.5% increase compared to a year ago for Tesla, but it's a drop of 6.7% from the previous quarter. Meanwhile, BYD sales represented a 67% increase year over year and a 22% boost from the previous quarter. So if Tesla continues to get hit by production slowdowns, BYD will likely pass it in pure electric sales in the fourth quarter. There's big news in the motor racing world. Andretti Motorsport was given the green light by the FIA to field a team in Formula One. Andretti is teaming up with General Motors, which will develop the powertrain for the team under the Cadillac brand. But even though the FIA, or the International Federation of Automobiles, gave Andretti the go-ahead, there's still another big hurdle to clear. Now the rest of the team owners, and there's 10 of them, have to give their approval. And they're not too keen on allowing another team to join the series. They're afraid that adding another team will dilute the prize money and will just add another competitor chasing sponsorship money. Even so, the FIA will likely put enormous pressure on them because it doesn't want to turn away a historic racing team like Andretti or a major automaker like General Motors. Honda is giving us a little glimpse into its future with a video called Keep Dreaming. It shows it's still working on new technology like urban flying aircraft and eVTOLs, as well as fuel cell stacks and autonomous transport vehicles. But the most interesting part to me is this line, quote, "And someday we'll turn your old Honda into your brand new Honda." I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where Honda will be able to replace drive components and body panels to make a new car like it shows in the video, but it says to me that Honda is thinking about modular vehicle design and could use a Tesla-like approach to building vehicles. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for joining us.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Schaeffler, we pioneer motion.
At Schaeffler, we pioneer motion. Electrifying mobility, manufacturing smarter, reducing CO2 emissions, making energy production clean. Schaeffler pioneers motion to advance how the world moves.